Morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? Are we still having sleep issues? Are we still having emotional issues? Because if you are, you're in the right place. The Diary of the Griever, John Weaver, is here. And I'm the John Weaver of Roseman, California. What's going on, guys? Yeah, I'm already having my issues already. I've still got the bug war going on right now. Got chemicals to kill these sons of bitches every so often. I'll use it. A friend of mine came over yesterday and gave me a bit of help in this place. He also gave me chemicals to use to do the ground war. Go head to head with these guys. And they give me more roach traps, some large ones, for larger roaches. That's what I need. In the meantime, still try to clean up this place as much as I can. Clean it up, just make it look somewhat decent enough so the orchid man can do his job and management doesn't get on my ass. As long as I get the food stuff cleaned off, then it should be alright. Somewhat. But I'm still stuck with all these damn bugs around here. Well, besides the bug war I gotta deal with, it's also the anniversary and everybody else who's dealing with the anniversary like this. Glasses need to be washed. So at this point, England's got a new king. They're mourning their queen. Long live Queen Elizabeth II. God rest her soul and God bless her soul. And now we got King Charles III to deal with. He seems to be a decent enough man. Hadn't given anybody else any major malfunctions left and right. Always saw the guy was a stiff upper lip Brit. He was practically a decent man if once you get to know the guy. So even in the short term he's got right now, he's going to do whatever he can to lead his country. Some people don't exactly like what the monarchy had represented, which was colonialism. I had to mouth off on a couple of people online regarding their knowledge of colonialism and Brits. You know, I did study English history a long while ago. And I was trying to watch everything else that was possible regarding the Brits because it was still part of my heritage. My lineage has got about 4 of them in here, and according to what my mother and my brother and my grandmother had told me, um, part English, okay, fine, Scottish, Irish, and German. Or, yeah. I don't have only allegiance to Germany, no. But when it comes down for what they call the British Isles, because of the colonialism being applied here. Yeah, I got an affinity for Scotland, I got an affinity for Ireland, I got an affinity for England. It doesn't mean I have an absolute loyalty of it either. I just have an affinity for it. So when anything happens to England, they usually try to affect us one way or another across the waters. So I still have to keep track of what the hell's going on over there every once in a while just to see what happens. Besides, hearing what they go through in their parliament compared to what we go through in Congress, Jesus, we're more civilized than these guys. But they try to be civilized. In the House of Commons, oh my God, they're going after each other left and right. But you never hear anything about the House of Lords. No. It's the House of Commons. And they would, oh my God, they'd yell over everybody else. We don't even allow that kind of disrespect all that much in Congress, and not even in the Senate. Everything's a little bit more dignified that way. We all got decorum, but they do get fiery in their speeches, and they do get crazy in their speeches. I can tell you that much. Would I like to be in that kind of a situation one more time if the United States ever reverted back to colonialism? I know it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen at this point over here. We would be reverting over to an autocratic despot before we go back to parliamentary law and order for that one. Because there's no way America would be able to withstand that kind of major strain. They'll go for the one party rule, and that's about it. I'm just looking for right now if there's going to be any bug bombs on me. I got a couple of droppers ready to go, but not directly above me, thank God. They just piss me off, these little small sons of bitches. That's about it. Waiting for me to get off. I'm trying not to imagine if we actually did revert back to colonialism. It would be catastrophic for everything that we knew and grew up with. We were called the Great Experiment because of the democracy that we wanted and chose for ourselves, the representative democracy. Maybe the most ineffectual political system, but it was the best thing for us because we would not have a monarchy. But there had been rumors in the first presidency of turning Washington into a king. Even though they broke away and tried to make their country and their government, this is the early Congress, by the way, and there was talk about this, of making the country back into England or similar to that. Of course, we'd have the Senate and we'd have the House of Representatives, because this time we would have representation in a form of government that would be benefiting everybody, theoretically. But having a king? Nah, that wasn't going to happen. We just have elected officials, that's about it. And because of that, they're not appointed, they're not sheriffs, they're not the deputies, they're not the lords of the area, they're not mannerisms, they're not anything like that. But of course, you probably think that sheriff's departments probably are the lords of the area anyway. Or even the police departments are like that. But no, we're not going to go into that. Our country is not going to be devolving back into that again. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's, however, unlikely. Because how our own viewpoints regarding our country right now, I know, are still varied. Don't do you son of a bitch. Just keep on there. Filter up. Filter up. Hold on. Hold on. I had to make sure they were gone. That would be very Halloweenish for bugs to drop on me. I'm going to scream my head off, and everybody else going freaking out. And this is only September. Our own lifestyle right now that we have, our own way of life, is under a constant threat. And we have put it into that kind of great jeopardy. We've had other despots and dictators try to put us into that situation where currently we can't look at our country like we tried to do a long while ago with the pie in the sky situation. I know it's probably an old terminology. I don't know what the young terminology is these days. I really don't give a shit. Because right now, I'm not a young man anymore. I'm an old fart. I'm dealing with it. With the language and the colorful idioms and metaphors to use. They don't like it? On that. But what I'm saying is, I can appreciate the British rule. I can appreciate what they've got, and they still don't have what we have. A lot of people keep saying that they have a written constitution, but they don't. It's nothing researchable. They don't even know if they've got one on file, but they keep saying it. They got one on file. So let them have fun with it. All I know is we still have to deal with our own government system we have today. And everything else is getting so mucked up right now that we got people going after each other left and right and don't even understand why. Well, sometimes you have to understand why. And why is people don't want the changes. I'm going to switch topics at this point. Back to the basics of what the channel was supposed to be, at least for right now. How am I doing emotionally? Well, nervous as hell because I've got management coming over. I've been telling management for a couple of times already, don't do this because I'm not ready for them. If they're going to be doing every damn baseboard in this place, I'm not ready for this place. I mean, there are a couple of rooms that I need more time to move stuff around so they can get to all the baseboards that they want. They can get to the baseboards that they need to, but that's about it. Anything else, forget it. I'm gonna be in total doo doo on that one anyway. But as to what we have for right now, what I'm dealing with right now is just it's pure survival at this point. I tried talking to that friend of mine. Apparently, he is angry. He's angry. I don't blame him. After what he's been telling me, I don't blame him. But as for my situation, I can't be angry. Personally, I can't be angry at anything and everything that's been happening. I could be, but it doesn't help me. It doesn't help me a bit. I have to deal and I have to cope, and I got to push on. The thing is, I know I get the emotional triggers, and I cry like crazy. Each one of us goes through our grieving differently. For some of us, we're criers. I turned out to be one. Others are just mad. They don't know how to deal with it, don't know how to deal with the anger. And the others are just stoic about it, just don't even want to deal with it. My mother and my brother were the same thing. They didn't want to deal with it. They still hurt, they were still in pain, but they never dealt with it. Unlike me right now, I have to deal with it. I have to face it, I have to confront it, I have to go forward with this. Doesn't exactly help me very much, I'll tell you that much. It just doesn't. So, waking up every single day, not having my family here. Some days I'll not pay it attention enough and just get on with living. And other times I do pay more attention to it and wait for the damn triggers to knock my ass out. It happens. It's happening too much these days. I'm being affected more and more by it. And the one day that I need to feel good about it by talking to a professional therapist. Everything else goes hell in a handbasket and throws me off. It's something I needed to talk to them about. They'll probably say, well, why didn't you talk to us about that? Well, we could have got you straightened out. Yeah, well, I wasn't feeling in the mood for it. When you're in that kind of depressional state, and I'm discovering it more and more, some things just don't matter. Some things just don't, you know, you just can't deal with it. And I've been trying to deal with mine. I've been trying to deal with mine like crazy. It hasn't been all that much. But I'm struggling. It was hard enough having the friend of mine go through his pain, go through his grief, him telling me what his situation was and how that was affecting him more and more. That I don't know how to help him. It's totally, completely out of my hands. So the only thing I can do is just pray for his family, and that's about it. As for my own little shit, I'm still dealing with that. I know it gets depressing to deal and talk about this all the time. I know it does. I mean, if I stay with it long enough, I am going to be totally depressed. I'm just going to be like a gray monster, or not a gray monster, just someone gray inside, not willing, not able to think or do or feel anything. It just be blah. Already got beaten down, worn down, dragged, then beaten down, worn down, and dragged again and again and again and again. The cycle keeps repeating to a point where I'm just, okay, do it again, do it again, do it again, and just be like that. I can't deal it. I can't deal with it, but I'm dealing with it. Go figure. Meanwhile, meanwhile, life goes on outside. We got changes happening in the world. Human changes, world changes, changes happening outside. And it's hard for us to deal with it. And it's going to be on a constant basis. We have to deal with it. We got no choice. What else are we going to do? Base the shit out of me? Because I haven't got any clue. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I don't know. But I'm dealing with it. I'm trying to, but it's not that easy. So, right now, the only thing I can say is I'm coping. I'm coping. I don't like dealing with the bike, so I got to deal with this shit. And if I wasn't going to school, well, actually, if I was going to school, I'd be torn apart between dealing with the bugs and dealing with schoolwork. So now, because I'm off the semester, I'm dealing with this. Ain't that wonderful? I'm going to cut this one short. That I can. There's another freaking dropper. Yeah, I'm cutting it off right now.